Welcome back to my channel for another episode, which this time is about a gadget I got sent for free for my iPhone 17 Pro Max. And the background of this gadget here is an interesting one. Most of the time I have my camera with me when I'm leaving the house because I'm kind of a freak. So I always think I might miss a good shot if I don't have my camera with me. But there are situations where I don't have a camera with me, but what I always carry with me is my phone. And by the way, I cleaned my phone. There are a few scratches here on that protector. That's a matte anti-fingerprint protector from Dipos. I will post a link down below in the info box. So you have no reflections and it also doesn't get smudgy too easily. But a few scratches are here, but better on the protector than on the phone. But my phone is always with me because it connects me with my family, with friends. I have everything I need in electronic form on my smartphone. And this here is supposed to be a very small gadget which fits kind of any pocket I might have with me. And if there is a situation where I would like to take a macro shot or would have need for a telephoto lens, this device can be with me at all times together with my phone. And in this video, I will unbox this very quickly. I will give you a little bit of a download and introduction to what this device is all about. And then, of course, I will take it with me when I'm out. We'll try it out, we'll take a bunch of shots and we'll look into them and see what the quality is of this 10 times telephoto lens with a case. Let's kick this off. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, support my work. Many thanks for that. All right, so what is this gadget all about? The brand is called Apexel and they contacted me via direct message and asked me if I would enjoy trying this gadget out. And I said, of course, photography is my business. That's what I'm doing, not only in real life, for financing everything I need to finance, but also for YouTube with my channel community and having a telephoto lens with 10 times magnification, optical magnification on my iPhone 17 Pro Max will for sure be fun. So please send it to me and I will look into it. Let's have a look here. This is checkbox for iPhone 17 Pro Max. This is my model here. And the reason why you need to specify your model is because I will in a moment exchange my Genian Apple case by this case here. And I guess the lens can then be screwed on so it is safely mounted on the lens of your smartphone. What we have here is a couple of sample shots. So here wildlife, here a macro shot. It seems to come in a travel ready pouch or protection case here. And if you look into the specifications, it's for telephoto and macro photography. The field of view is 5.64 degrees, so very, very narrow. And the range of focus is 100 centimeter, so 1 meter to infinity for telephoto and 20 centimeter to 24 centimeter for macro. So this is quite close, is a typical close-up shooting situation. The lens structure is not really simple and is actually quite complex if I compare this with a lot of other lenses I have here in the studio. We talk about 12 elements in 9 groups, including the macro lens. We have a multi-layer coating, and the material is a multi-coating optical glass and aluminium alloy and silicone. The lens mount is a 17 millimeter thread or screw here, and that seems to be everything I find in terms of information on the box. It's quite interesting, actually. And I was, of course, doing my homework, going to the website of Apexel. It seems to me that they are specialized in optical gadgets, in screw-on lenses, clip-on lenses, accessories where you can enhance the natural capabilities of your smartphone, for instance. And here we have 3 lenses integrated already. And we have already a powerful smartphone here with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but with the accessories from Apexel, this becomes even more interesting and expands the options and possibilities what I can do with my smartphone. So let's open this up. Let's have a look inside. Let's see here. It's not sealed. And I see immediately there is a pretty solid pouch here of protection case. Have a look here. Apexel, expand your vision. That seems to be the program they are offering here. If we look at that, of course, with a 10 times telephoto lens, you can expand your vision. And from a design perspective, it's actually nicely done. Look at that. It looks not cheap at all. I've no idea at this point in time when I'm filming what the price tag is. I'll Google it, of course, and look it up for you, and we'll present it in the course of the video. And now let's open this up with a zipper and let's have a look inside. And here we find the lens for smartphone size. If we compare this, quite some statement, right? And in terms of build quality, we just read it here at the backside of the packaging. It's a multi-coating optical glass and aluminum alloy and silicone. And it looks quite valuable. It feels quite valuable in hand. If I go around this with my fingers here, it's actually a valuable gadget. And it says here 10 times telephoto. I guess here you can dial in your focus. 1 meter to infinity. The travel way is quite long. Look here, I'm at infinity. Now I'm going all the way to the closest focusing distance, which is 1 meter in the telephoto setting, and it's a long travel way. That promises very likely that we'll get very precise focusing done with that lens. This, I guess, but we'll try it out all in a moment, is a screw-in mechanism where I can screw this onto the case, which I'm going to unbox in a moment. And here on the front side, I guess we have the lens. Let's have a look. Is a rubber protection here, a rubber lens cap, and look at that. Looks like serious optics here, what I see. Quite interesting. I'm super curious to try this out, really. And let's see what else we have here. There is here a 30mm to 3070mm adapter ring. It's open worked, so you can screw this very likely onto the lens and then mount other equipment. And here, this is a 200mm macro lens. Look at that. Of course, this all needs to be tried out and shot with my iPhone 17 Pro Max. And that's all. It looks like there's also a manual or a brochure in here. Let's have a look. User manual for Tele Macro Pro telephoto and macro lens. I don't think I need to unfold this here, but clearly there's some information inside. And then, of course, what I already indicated, there is a case here. So let's open this up. Protection material, very solid. Carbon type structure, look at that. I think it might even look better on my phone than the Genius one from Apple here, which is a good one because it never gets smudgy. But this one here also doesn't seem to get smudgy. And it also protects the lenses of the iPhone 17 Pro Max quite nice. So I'm going to clip my iPhone into this in a moment. It says here iPhone 17 Pro Max. I don't know if you can see this. So you know for which phone this is actually suitable and compatible. It has all the buttons here. Looks good. And I guess here we have now a mechanism where we can screw in this lens in the way it is replicated here on the packaging. So let's see how this all works. Let's get my iPhone out of the Apple case. Here we go. Oh, look here. Dust everywhere. Even in Switzerland, we don't live dust-free. And here, of course, I couldn't clean it up front. So let's clip this inside. See how this works. Very solid. And here we go. This is pretty robust. Look at that. I mean, this is a mechanism which really will protect your phone if it falls down to the ground. Your lenses will not get smashed if you accidentally drop it to the floor. That looks good. Here my screen protector is a little bit suffering. I'll try to mount this a bit better in a moment, and then I will be back and we'll start to play with that 10 times telephoto lens. We'll do a bit of testing here in the studio, but then it deserves to be taken out into the field. Now, for me, it's very important to have these type of display protectors on my iPhone 17 Pro Max. And the one in the way I applied it before did not really exist in symbiosis with that carbon case, which is coming with the Apexel lens. So I had to remove it and basically apply more diligence in getting my display protector in a fully symmetric, perfectly matching way on the phone. And now it coexists with that carbon case from Apexel. And you see here, there are no bubbles at the bezels. This is perfect, matte, anti-fingerprint. And that's the way I want to use my phone. Looking at that lens and the eyecup piece here, you can use this as a monocular telescope, and you can screw it in here. Let me quickly show you. Let's get this in here. And then you can basically lift this up to your eye, and you can use this as a monocular telescope, which is quite nice, right? If you want to observe wildlife, for instance, and you're not necessarily caring about taking shots with a camera, that is a perfect solution. And the adapter, which I mentioned before, is also very useful. That's this one here. And you saw this here. This is translating basically a 30mm thread, which is the one from the lens here, to a 37mm thread. You can screw this in here, and then you can basically mount here all kinds of filters, you know, neutral density filters, polar filters, what have you. You have all kinds of options. Of course, it's a bit exotic to have a 37mm filter, but they actually exist in the market. And for the lens itself now, we have to screw it in here, and I want to live demonstrate to you how this looks like if you open the camera app natively on the iPhone. And here we go. It sits very solid on that case. It's a perfect solution, much better than other providers who actually have a clip-on lens here. And that one here has its own weight. I think this is a superior construction. If I now open the phone and go here to the camera app, then I can now here basically use the focus ring to get things sharp and in focus. Look at that watch in the background. Now it's too much, but here it's getting sharp. And when I did this first, I was disappointed because of this vignetting. This is a circular opening here, which is not what I want. But I figured out very quickly, if you go to 1.7 times magnification, watch here the magnification, the vignetting is gone and you get the full screen. See here? 1.7 kind of is enough, maybe 1.8. And now we can focus here also in basically landscape orientation if we want. And we get a huge magnification compared to what the iPhone 17 Pro Max natively can provide and deliver. Let's try to do here a diligent focusing. This is too much. Let's go back. This is good. Let's take a shot. And let's have a look. And here we go. Right? This is how it looks like. And you can use this in all kinds of situations. I come to use cases in a moment. And you can also use this for videography, of course. If I go to video here and then go to the magnification, I need to get rid of the vignetting. I can basically take videos here now. Now, what you see is it becomes very shaky. This is a long tele lens on a device. And if I shoot this handhold, it will get a little bit shaky. And let me show you one clip here where you see this. I was applying this in my live shooting over the weekend, and you see how shaky this is, but the shot nevertheless turned out to be quite usable and quite nice. And that is a normal phenomenon if you shoot, you know, a 10 times telephoto lens on a phone and have it handheld. Now, let me quickly contemplate here and thinking loudly about what I see with other influencers on YouTube. And there are a bunch of people who reviewed this lens already. And what they all basically did is they mounted the lens on the smartphone, having the smartphone in a voluminous cage for videography with hand grips and all of that, a lot of equipment. Or other people mounted it on a tripod, the smartphone, of course, and then got a very steady shot. But I don't think that's the purpose of this lens. I think this lens is a fallback if you have your real camera not with you, but you travel with your iPhone and maybe have this lens here, just the lens, you know, with the two lens caps in your pocket. and then bridge a situation where you otherwise would love to have a fully fledged pro camera, but you have, fortunately, a 10 times telephoto lens in your pocket. And a typical situation for this is when you are traveling without a camera, but this one here still fits into your pocket. And I'm basically elaborating on this use case later on in the video. And if you are able to travel and move, you know, and basically walk in a city or a zoo or wherever you are with a tripod or a huge cage for videography with an iPhone and additional accessories and equipment, that's kind of pointless. And I'm not meaning it to embarrass those people who provide these reviews, but that very likely, at least in my humble opinion, and the storyline I want to offer here is not the purpose of this lens, because the more equipment you use where you mount this lens on, the more it becomes pointless, because why would you not then use a real pro camera? Why not using real pro video equipment? This one here is built and made, but again, in my own humble opinion, without stepping on the foot of some of my other fellow YouTubers, this is meant to be with you with the phone, standalone, and being used in a situation where you have no other options. And then you will be happy with the footage. You know, imagine, and that's actually my use case, going with the smartphone and this lens to the zoo. And let's say your children enjoy really the animals and all of that, and your iPhone is not capable of getting close enough to capture that moment which your children are enjoying. And then you mount this 10 times telephoto lens, you record the moment, and you create a memory, something you can show to your children later on and say, look, this is when we were at the zoo and this was the way the animal was behaving at this particular moment in time. And I recorded it for you, so you have that valuable memory for yourself. This is not about pro photography. If I want to shoot animals in the zoo, sports in action, you know, maybe the moon or celestial bodies, whatever it is, in a pro fashion, I better go for a professional camera. This is your fallback. This is the moment in time where you go out without your professional camera. You have your smartphone only, but this tiny little lens, which is still tiny compared to what you have in terms of professional tele lenses for professional cameras, just was able to fit into your pocket, and you have it with you when you need it to create a memory, something you don't want to forget, something you want to preserve for the future because it has a meaning to you. It's not about winning the next prize in professional photography. And that's why I believe all these, you know, influencer videos showing this with a smartphone on a tripod in a huge, massive cage for professional videography, what have you, is kind of missing the point. But again, I'm not saying this to kind of hurt someone's feelings. I'm saying it because that's my own humble opinion. I will not show macro footage in this video, but I want to quickly mount that macro lens here. And you saw that before, 200mm macro here on the lens. It's very easy to screw it in, and want to show you quickly how this looks like. It's always difficult from behind the camera, but very easy if you are not behind the camera. Look here. Here we go. And let's switch the camera on. And let's also get rid of this vignetting. Here we go. And now we can zoom and focus. And we saw before that I think 24 centimeters the minimum focusing distance. Let's try to get here something from this brochure here. And let's focus on that. Let's try to turn the focus ring here to get this sharp and in focus. And here we go. Have a look. Look at that. This actually looks pretty capable to me. Focus stacking would not harm, but it's also very shaky, right? Because you have this huge tele experience sitting on a smartphone, which you shoot handheld. Let me take that shot and show you. Here we go. This is the magnification you get here from the word telephoto. And this is definitely usable. You see a lot of detail in that image, but it is very hard to shoot it. And as I mentioned before, you will always have this shaky going up and down when you use it handheld. But in my opinion, in my own humble opinion, it's pointless to use it on a tripod, because the moment in time you carry a tripod, why can you not carry a professional camera? And you don't need a fallback like the Apexel lens here. The way I want to generate sample images and footage also in videography with that Apexel lens is, luckily today we go with friends and family to the zoo. And the typical use case for that lens, in my opinion, is the following. You don't have anything you carry with you, because the moment in time your luggage becomes more bulky, you can easily take a professional camera and don't need to rely on your smartphone. So what we'll do is we take my iPhone 17 Pro Max, put it into the back of my jacket. We take this Apexel lens here. It's protected by the lens cap from the front and the rear side. We put it also in my pocket here. And we just hop in the car and join family and friends to go to the zoo and create some nice footage, which I'm going to show in a moment. All right, that's all I wanted to say and show. So what is my final verdict? Well, very simple. And by the way, let me get that macro lens off before we store the lens. Let's get this off here. The final verdict is simple. If you don't want to travel with your usual equipment, a professional camera, maybe a telephoto lens. I mean, here you have 10 times telephoto. And like me, you are spending with friends and family a Sunday afternoon in the zoo or in the mountains, hiking, what have you. And you need to go equipment light, because your attention will be on friendship, networking, maybe paying attention to children, whatever it is. Then this is an ideal gadget, because it fits into your pocket. And if you want to capture a scene, like I captured various scenes in the course of the video, to create a memory, something you will be able to remember, something you will be able to show to your children or friends, then this is an ideal gadget. Is it good enough for professional photography? Not at all. You know, you saw in the sample footage, the videos are sometimes a little bit shaky. You can stabilize them, of course, in post-processing and also in shooting photos at this tele lens here. You will actually have to make compromises, and getting the focus right here, this is not super easy. I was struggling sometimes, and I had to take a couple of shots before the focus was sitting in the way it's supposed to sit. But it is a very nice fallback with a lot of optionality and additional capacity and capabilities where you can enhance your smartphone in a way I was not able before to do it. And that's why I appreciate that gadget. I think it will find its customers. I think it has a justified role to play in smartphone photography. And I think at the very end, if you do a little bit of post-processing, as you saw in my images and the videos I recorded, it's highly usable. If you liked that video, don't forget to drop me a thumbs up. Stay tuned on my channel. There's always more to come. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy. And of course, peace out.